Hey everybody, welcome to A Million Little Podcast. We are talking A Million Little Things, Season 2, Episode 8 this week. And to do that, we have some usual people here. Mostly usual people, I would say. Myself, I'm Kevin, and here's Jamie.
Hi.
And Dave will be with us soon. Dave was ready to go. He was ready to broadcast live right after we taped this thing.
This one was our fault.
This one was specifically my fault. I was in transit. I was unavailable, so Dave is joining us with a little 3-minute recap, which we're gonna play that early on in the show. Usually, when Dave comes to us via the solo Dave moment, just kind of like how they used to give Andy Rooney the end of 60 Minutes, where he'd just like riff on whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
Dave would appreciate that.
Bubblegum.
Bubblegum.
What are these kids all about? I don't like it.
In my day, we swallowed. That was the weirdest Andy Rooney one that ever had. It was with his spitting out the gum.
Yep, that's the one that got him fired.
Yep, they fired him into the ground. They fired him so hard.
God fired him.
God fired him. Yeah, God. Now,
Earth.
Is that on ABC or no? That's a CBS one. God fired me.
God fired me.
Yeah, that's closer. Is that's a typo from God friended me?
Might be the lead into Good Doctor, which this week, by the way, does the Good Doctor bone. Is the preview. I mean, I was distracted by this entire episode of A Million Little Things by that little preview of The Good Doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the preview of
I kind of have to know. I
know. Maybe we should start a Patreon, and if people want to hear us talk about the one episode of The Good Doctor where he might have sex, they can, that's how you do that. So follow us at A Million Little Podcast on Instagram, at A Million Podcast on Twitter, and this is episode 2.8. Did you see what the title of the episode was, Jamie?
I did.
What was it?
It's called It's Been 3 Weeks Since We Had a Real Danny storyline. And it's made me literally sick.
Jamie is sick. You can probably tell that.
If you hear the clanking of the cough drop against my teeth, I'm sorry, but it is keeping me from actually coughing at you.
It's a tough catch-22.
Supplies are low. Morale is lower.
Mm-hmm.
We might not make it.
Almost as low as Andy Rooney.
There was a family funeral in this episode, and Danny wasn't there. Are you friggin' kidding me?
That is fucking silly. But you know who was it?
PJ
was at the funeral, and that made me furious. Honestly,
it made me furious too.
Honestly,
Rome, at this point, you cannot have this teenage friend anymore. He's not your best friend.
It's weird.
It's getting weird.
I hate it. I wrote down.
It's called Good Night. Sorry, it's actually called Good Night.
Oh, the actual title. Okay, Good Night. When you started, It's Been 3 Weeks. I was like, is this the end of the trilogy of Bare Naked Ladies classic? It's been 3 weeks since Danny showed up. God dang it.
God dang it, that's the whole song.
Yeah. So this, I'll give you the little, basically the summary that they had on ABC was a fellowship opportunity for Maggie forces Gary to reconsider his own future. The group suffers a devastating loss. And that was it. But I think maybe this would be a good time.
Devastating loss of Danny time.
Devastating loss of Danny time. Has it really been 3 weeks since we had a big Danny up?
He was completely out of two, and the one in the middle, he was there to, show Sophie her car, and that was, it.
Man.
Also,
I mean, we have to be the biggest, or I'm going to say second biggest at worst, of Million Little Things podcast. We definitely are the one that talks the most about Danny. It is really, it's funny that the main Million Little Things podcast is we lead off with Danny, whether he's here or not.
If someone else talks about him more, then I respect it. Mm-hmm. I mean, geez.
But
good for them.
Danny was nominated for something this week. Chance Hurstfield was, which I would look it up exactly, but it's mainly him thanking people.
The only reason I can think of is that they paid Danny what he's worth, which is $1 billion per episode, and so they just can't afford to have him in every one.
I get it. So if you are rushing around in your day, hopefully you'll listen to this full episode at some point. But if you can't listen to the full episode, we figured this would be a good time to drop in Dave with a little 3-minute recap. Dave Miller recapping the whole friggin' episode, and then we will go into it in depth. Here's Dave. Now, honestly, is anyone surprised that he's a Doug Heffernan guy? Was it Doug Heffernan? Kevin Heffernan.
No, Kevin James.
Okay.
Doug Heffernan, I think.
Dave has
Just heard it and I forgot already.
Dave has made a point that in previous episodes in last season that he said specifically, weirdly for a man as young as he is, he's a network TV guy, and
Big time.
So it makes sense that he would be into That's
why we're here.
Into that, yeah, that's part of the reason. So
Only he would recognize the mom from King of Queens.
yeah,
Mark out. It's pretty good.
totally. So where do you want to start, Jamie?
Oh, golly. I mean, the big news, I guess we can just go right into Rome. That's kind of the whole thing. Almost everybody's stuff besides Maggie and Gary revolves around Rome stuff this episode.
Yeah, and the voiceover at the beginning was Gina this time. The voiceover at the recap, because they do a different character doing the VO recap. And yeah, most of what I had was Rome. Now, we did know, this is the trouble when you tease that you're going to kill someone off during the season. This is more or less what I thought was going to happen, where it would be killing off someone who's not one of the majors.
Oh,
yeah.
I was 100% sure it wasn't one of the majors.
It would have, unless it, like we said before, it was Christina Ochoa, and we just find out she's been dead.
That's
this
true.
whole time.
She washes up on a beach somewhere, and we're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is the worst Christina Ochoa bikini Instagram story we've ever seen.
Not what we wanted.
Yeah, all the others are tied for first.
We wished on this monkey paw wrong.
But I noticed knowing that someone was going to die made me, in this episode, everything that happened, I was like, are they dead? Every phone call, there were several phone calls at the beginning, and I just one was talking to Maggie about the fellowship. That was that phone call.
Oh, right.
That was one I was like, is someone dead? Is this where the person's dead? Also, Theo was on a totally different kind of bullshit this episode. Did you notice how many times they called to Theo off screen? They did it at the beginning and the end, but Theo was not in this episode.
Yeah, so weird.
Neither of the kids, neither Theo nor Danny was in this episode. But at the beginning, they're Eddie is calling upstairs to Danny, and it's the overly descriptive, overly one-sided conversation where that person's dead. You know what I mean? So there's a brief moment where I'm like, are they going to kill Theo? That would be bold.
Yeah, that's right. He's calling up about brushing his teeth, and then later it's like, Dad's going to read you a story, and then, oh, hello. It's time to talk about Danny again.
Yep. The alarm went off.
But yeah, he was, you know what? I was so preoccupied with Danny not being around, I completely missed the fact that Theo fully didn't show up. He was just off screen the whole time. Yeah. Interesting.
And it was weird because they still made it a point to talk to him. So I thought that was really strange. And they didn't just do it at the beginning of the episode. They did it at the end too. Also, would Theo ever not audibly respond? That kid talks. You know what I mean? So from a character standpoint, that was strange.
That is the weirdest part, that you didn't hear him talking back. That's kind of crazy.
But anyway, the vast majority of this episode is about Rome. That is the bulk of what I
thought it was going to be his dad, like Dave said, because they were talking about the dad a lot at the beginning. His dad wants him to go to the store and get him flip-flops and boner pills. I was like, oh, this guy's dead. This guy's dead as hell.
Yeah, he's trying, when he's trying to really live.
The dumbass brother is back, who Dave likes mainly because he got drunk.
Yeah, we both appreciated Dave's take as we were listening to it on what Omar is the brother.
I guess.
Yeah, I didn't even catch the name.
I call him Jay Farrow.
Yeah, I call him Jay Farrow as well. Jay Farrow, I would say, in sort of the vein of a Ben Schwartz, John Ralphio on Parks and Rec, he does a good job playing a real piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are probably the only explicit tagged A Million Little Things podcast, probably, but we work blue.
It's an intense show, and our language reflects that.
Yes. But Jay Farrow plays a good piece of shit brother who's just sort of remorseless and stuff, too, about being as helpless as he is and selfish.
You use this reference a lot, and it's a good one, but he's like a bad guy in an Adam Sandler movie where he's just goofy and bad all around. You have no problem being like, I hope this guy gets his in the end. Because there's no redeeming qualities. He's just a piece of shit.
Yep. No, right. And
he's never cool.
No, and he doesn't come through in the end here. He, later on when it's who's going to tell Dad. He doesn't step forward at all. Rome does, of course, because he always has. But I do think that is more true to family and friend dynamics is, there's a moment for the unexpected person to step up in life. And I think the unexpected person stepping up and being better than they are, I think that's more of a Hollywood creation. I don't believe it happens in real life. I think
I'm sure it has.
I'm sure it has,
but probably not as much.
I think good people tend to do good stuff and bad people tend to do bad stuff consistently.
Yeah. That was one thing where it's like, it wasn't even necessarily bad. It's just like, well, yeah, of course he's not going to tell the dad.
Yeah, I thought it was fitting, yeah.
Also partially because he probably knows that he'll mess it up. So it's like, you should do it, you'll do a good job.
Right.
And that makes sense. That's almost the cool thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And Rome and Gina at the very beginning do all the exposition of the episode, catching everybody up in a conversation at the top. I wrote down, Dave wrote down that Omar is his guy, like you said, mainly because he gets drunk. Dave's like, I love that Dave was just like, I think he's drinking tequila. That's my guy.
That part I like.
Sure.
Would I be the person to break a glass at a funeral? Likely.
Yeah.
Still not cool, though. Still not. Omar is not my guy, but I respect Dave's opinion.
Totally. I did write down Rome's parent gonna die, so I did sort of call it, but I didn't call exactly which one. I guess we all were thinking the dad.
Yeah, for some reason when she said she was getting her hair done, I started to think maybe she would die just because, I don't know, she's going to do something nice.
Right.
And in shows and in life now, it's like, because I've seen too many movies, it's like when someone's going to do something nice, it's like, well, they're dead.
That's dead, yeah. Yeah, and it's very straight. The last thing that she says to Rome is, try to get along with your dad. Do you have any feelings on that?
I mean, it's a very mom thing to say. Of course she said that. Yeah. It's nice. But also, like, how about you tell Dad to get along with me?
Yeah.
Rome's already doing the work.
Rome's been good.
Yeah, he reached out to his dad when he was depressed. He tried to get help from him, and his dad was just like, don't be depressed. It's like, all right, well, I tried.
Tell this dumb fucking dad who wouldn't give you one gift you wanted for 50 years and then was a bitch about it when he did. Tell him to be cool.
That's why you don't wait 50 years to give a gift, because the person might die before they get it, and then you'll feel bad forever.
Well, you should feel bad forever.
Well, of course you should, but I'm just saying now it's a no-win for anybody.
Right.
If you had given her this gift a year ago, do you know how not guilty you would feel right now?
Well,
selfishly, don't wait 50 years to give the gift.
It's sort of like the thing that Rome says in his eulogy, where he says, we left nothing unsaid. We did, we were completely caught up. Everything was out there, and that's the dad had a chance to be completely caught up with his wife, and he wasn't, because he just was a d-bag for no reason for the whole time. Yeah. And then when he said when they're talking about who's going to tell Dad that Mom passed, Rome is basically like, the last thing she said to me, she wanted me and Pop to get along, and I was just like, so now I'm going to go tell him his wife's dead. This is a tough start. This is a tough start to our new life of getting along. Hey, hey, Dad, real quick. Mom's dead. Do you want to have a catch? Yeah.
Let's be buds.
Right.
Also, the love of your life is no more.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know that, and you're packing to go on your cruise because you've pulled a real old-school dad move and decided to skip the whole grieving part and just move on to the fucking weird gesture that you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going, it's like, by yourself? You're not gonna give the cruise to someone else. You're just gonna go and be an asshole on a cruise by yourself.
I think this is not really like a criticism of the writing, because this seems perfectly fitting for this guy, I guess. But the nice guy move would have been to gift the tickets to Rome and Gina and be like, you guys go have a moment while you still have it, kind of a thing, as opposed to the dad being like, I guess I'll go on this fucking cruise I didn't even want to do. Obviously, forever I'll do it because she would have wanted me to. Also, I get the vibe from his wife, in a good way for her, that like, if she knew she was dead now and he was going on the cruise, she'd be like, I don't give a shit if you go on the cruise. Like, that's what I wanted, you dummy.
Cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the main thing, I mean, sure, go on the cruise in honor of your dead wife, but like, I feel like the timing is crazy. It's like, I don't know if I'd be in the place to do it like 3 days after my wife dies. Like, whoa.
Yeah. And then, I put going on the cruise seems like a classically his dad move. Rome gives the eulogy. That's tough.
That's very tough, and I think he did a great job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
I think mentioning the tuna fish breath was great.
Yes, that the tuna fish breath got a big pop from the crowd. Uh-huh. What was it that Omar said that killed us in a bad way?
He's right. She loved her tuna fish.
Was just like,
Shut up, Omar.
If I'm editing this show, I'm like, we can lose that. Like, we don't need that.
Let's replace that with just Omar chuckles. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That made it feel like a sketch.
It would have made me laugh harder if instead of him saying that whole sentence, he just like chuckled and went, tuna. That would have been better than him delivering the whole line. I wrote an all. You have not given a eulogy, correct, Jamie?
No, I wrote one for my cat. I could not be present, but I wrote one for my family to read at the funeral for my cat Fluffy.
That's very nice.
Yes.
That's a very good one. I
did not deliver it, though.
No, but that's the bulk of the work and going through the thinking about it is the writing of it. Because I did, for my grandmother, I gave her eulogy.
Slightly higher pressure.
You know how I think and feel about animals, too, where it's like, I wouldn't even, you would say it's more higher pressure than I think I would. But I think, like...
Well, it was a bigger audience.
Sure.
It was a full family.
Yes, it was a bigger audience, and it was...
I'm going to give the edge to human in most cases.
Okay, sure, I'll take it.
But yes, we both did great.
Yes, that's the point. And, point being, like... Me giving my grandma's eulogy, which my grandma and I butted heads a lot in our lives. I loved her, and like vice versa, but like we were not compatible types. She was very prim and
You're
proper.
Not going to go up and say a bunch of mushy stuff straight across the board.
Yeah.
And be insincere.
Yeah, we had beef a lot in our lives, but she specifically like requested me when she was alive. She said, "I want Kevin to do my eulogy because she knows I'm a pro, and it is a very her thing to be like, baby. I want someone to kill it." You know what I mean? So
smart lady.
Yeah, but I think like that was a little bit easier for me because it's a little more detached than your mom.
Oh yeah.
Or your spouse. It's hard to give a eulogy from that close. So like giving for the grandparent is almost perfect. Mm-hmm. My Uncle Jim did my grandfather's. He was basically
and it
was his father-in-law. That's kind of right. Right.
You had time to think about it is another thing too.
Yeah.
But yes, 100%. Someone who's that I couldn't even. It's the kind of thing where it's like you would want to because you want it to be good.
Right.
But also, like, how would you even get through
How do you keep it together? Yeah, and so Rome did a great job there. Yeah.
And just blanket for the whole episode, I feel like I remembered what a good actor Rome is.
Romany Malco.
The guy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he did a very good job. He was, like, sad, but he was never, like, he wasn't, like, chewing up the scenery. No. He wasn't, like, taking advantage of, like, I'm going to weep for... It's just, yeah.
He's a good real person actor.
Real person actor.
Yeah, no,
good stuff.
Yeah, it makes me want to go see where he was trained. I like how he acts, and have for a long time since 40-Year-Old Virgin. I've been like, that guy's freaking good. Too. And I wrote in all caps, "Why is PJ at the funeral?" We kind of covered that.
All caps. PJ is at the funeral.
Yeah, I wrote all caps. Why is PJ? I also wrote all caps before that. Nerd with boobs. I think Jay Farrow said that, and it's like that's fun.
Yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, I mean it's just a fun concept, really, more than anything. It's like thumbs up.
Good combo.
Yep. Yeah, but just PJ, what the fuck?
It really like there's times where I know I'm annoyed with PJ when it's probably I shouldn't be, or like it's really fine, but this was being at the funeral is crazy, especially because Danny's not there. I know play rehearsal isn't that important. He could have freaking made it over here, and then like he's the one comforting Rome after the funeral, like coming in
the room
and quoting his own script to him. It's like.
I hated that.
Just the shot of PJ walking in his suit to like talk to Rome, like closing the door to like, help him out. It's like it creeped me out because all I could think about was how like Rome's best friend right now what is he supposed to be? 16?
Yeah, well, probably 17 because he's applying to colleges.
17, yeah. But like, his kid
who he's weird.
Like figuring out paternity and keeping secrets from this kid's parents and blah blah blah, and obviously like we know it's not like anything truly creepy is happening, but it's just like I keep getting a creepy vibe from it. Like, you guys gotta, I mean, obviously it is gonna come out now, but like,
Right.
you're gonna have a hard time, the longer this goes on, a hard time explaining to people precisely what the nature of your relationship is.
Yeah, this is my boy.
This is my best friend, 17-year-old PJ, who is the son of, I don't know, at least one of my friends.
Yeah, but I've known him for a month. So it's cool. So that's fine. Yeah, the PJ whole deal I'm not super into.
No.
And we're not really a fault of the actor or anything, yada, yada, whatever. It's fine. The taking turns, everyone taking a turn dumping a dirt on the thing. That
I
isn't...
wrote that down, yeah.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, yeah.
I know that is a thing.
I know it's I felt like it's more a thing where you go and you toss like a handful of dirt on the casket is more the thing, almost like, instead of like a flower or something. Also, people do flowers sometimes.
Yeah, that's what
I thought was the thing is you just go and it's sort of your way of like, I guess sending them off. Everyone taking a turn with the shovel felt weird. I feel like the shovel makes it feel like it's more of a good riddance than a goodbye.
I know. Maybe I've seen too many pay-per-view events with The Undertaker. Too many coffin matches. But it does...
It feels like he just tombstoned his mom and he's putting her away.
Oh, man. I actually, if I die pretty soon, probably, I want my brother Joe to tombstone me into my casket.
Okay.
So that's something.
Sorry, Joe.
Shout out Joe McCaffrey.
It's in the verbal will. You have to do it.
Yeah, he'll do it. Yeah.
Pat'll help.
Yeah, my other brother Pat will help too. And instead of dirt, I want people to, you know how you send boats off by cracking a champagne over it? Uh-huh. Everyone just champagne bust on my coffin. And then you got to slam the champagne.
Wait, but with the glass?
Yeah.
That's not cool, man.
We'll figure it out. It's there's some kinks to work out. But,
all right,
yeah.
we'll figure it out. Yes, and then yes, it's one of those things where it's like it's a nice thing and it is nice, but like then Rome just decides to fill in the whole hole. I'm like, is that even allowed?
Right.
It seems like a dangerous job. There's only a couple planks over the side of that shit. Also, I feel like there's probably a right and a wrong way to fill in a grave.
This is
That's
not volunteer stuff.
No.
Yeah, this is, and then his dad makes some comment to like, oh, I would have paid him more to do it. It's like, what do you mean paid him more to do it? Did you guys just sneak into the graveyard and dig a hole on your own?
I said he would have not paid the guy to fill it in all the way.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense, I
But
guess.
also, it's like, I'm sorry, do you specifically pay the man who fills in the hole? I feel like it's just sort of included in the
yeah, I think that's in the standard package. You don't have to go platinum for that.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. This doesn't include filling in the hole. You'll have to do that yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how angry I am about this person being dead, maybe I would be like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'll do it.
But yeah, that seems like an illegal thing.
Yeah,
that distracted me from the touchingness of it. Also, none of the girls helped, and I didn't like that.
Oh, yeah, it was a real gendered helping thing.
Yeah, all the boys walked back, and they were like, that was really sweet what you did back there. I did not help.
There you go, Dave. Dave requested it. He got it.
You did. You're welcome. Goodbye. I'm off to France.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
I just wrote, does anyone ... work at the graveyard? That's basically, it's like, is anyone working here? Is it fucking Columbus Day? Why is everyone up?
It's a DIY funeral.
Yeah. So then they were at the wake and funeral afterwards. And, yeah, the only thing I wrote down takes place a little later. Do you have anything else immediately off, sort of about the funeral or the end there? Obviously, it's a touching thing that all the friends come together to help. I was just like, but I was also like, if I was one of those friends, I'd grab a shovel and I'd toss it on. I'd immediately be like, we don't have to do this, right? This is someone else. Like,
right. Be like, hey, Rome, stop.
It is.
I feel like we're going to get in trouble if we do this, and we can just go.
It's weird, though, when you just, at most funerals, you just kind of leave and it's not done. It is weird, because I've Paul Beared several times and eulogized, not to brag, I'm quite an angel of death. But, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that seems weird. I did think for 1 second, because his dad's in the car, Rome's waiting for Gina, she's like getting stuff and bringing it back to the car. I thought for a second that the mean dad thing was catching on. because Rome yells after Gina after his dad's being shitty. He's like, Gina, what's the holdup? But I think it was more for laughs than actual. It was like,
Right.
oh, is Rome getting mean now? Like, is he turning into the mean dad?
I thought maybe this is a gendered thing too, because as the guy and as a punctuality hound, I was like, "Is Gina? What is the holdup, Gina? Like, if we're ready to leave the funeral,
she was picking up the flowers in
Okay.
the picture. She was
Okay.
gathering stuff from the grave
That's
and probably
good.
dealing.
Well,
with
that's a good
relatives.
answer. That's a good answer.
And that's how she takes the stuff. She was arranging for Gary to take it in his car, and then she gets to the car, and that's when she sees that Gary's work stuff is in his trunk.
Oh yeah.
And so that's, I mean, the main thing with Gary, it turns out, like Dave said, that he has been fired, which, as we've all been saying, I mean, we stopped saying at some point, but it's like, yeah, no shit, he got fired. He's literally never gone to work.
He don't work.
He's been there once this entire series, 2 seasons. He's been to work once.
Yeah,
No
and he had his
shit.
feet on the desk. I think the one time he did.
Yeah.
The I guess to close out the Rome thing for the most part, I just wrote down the glass breaking at the wake, how that like shook him up and put him over the edge. I thought that was a very good, very relatable detail.
Me too.
Yeah, because
That would happen to me for sure. You keep your shit together for the whole day, and then like your dumb brother breaks a glass, and it's like, wow, now I'm gonna kill everybody.
I almost lost it today because I was trying to put my wallet back in my inner coat jacket, and I was really struggling with it, and I struggled with it for an amount of time where I was like, it has to go in on the next try. And it like didn't for a while longer, and I was like, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, I just was losing it. I was like, I was wearing a hoodie that was open, so I think maybe that was kind of blocking it on the like inside chest pocket, and I couldn't get it back in after I showed my ID to the fucking airport security
The
people.
angrier you get, the worse you are at doing the thing.
Yes,
You're doing.
yeah. But that's just today. But I feel like that thing that happens to me all the time. One of my very funny comedian, a guy named Jared Logan, go buy his albums, look at his watch his Comedy Central special, everything. But he has a tweet that I think about a lot, where he talked about his like, I forget exactly what the tweet is, but basically that like he was trying to load the dryer at the laundromat and like dropped a sock on the ground and said out loud to himself, "You fucking idiot," and was like, maybe I'm too hard on myself. And it's like that, but that's exactly what this reminds me of, and I'm like, oh god, that's relatable.
Yeah, me too. I could not for the life of me get one of my boots on when I was after the gym the other day.
Yeah.
And I was just, I mean, I think people at the gym are scared of me because I'm always in a bad mood at the gym. And that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to get my boot on. And it's just like, I think one of the trainers was like, oh, you're having some trouble. I was like, yes! Fucking, what does it look like?
Yeah. Thanks for the question, though.
Yeah, and in my head, just like, yeah, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm just gonna throw this boot at the wall and walk into traffic.
Yep, that sounds great to me. Cool. So that, I thought that was a genuinely good moment, and some good Rome acting there, as we said, where afterwards, where he was explaining to Gina, it's like, I know you're worried about me, and I'm in a bad place, but you know what? My mom just died. You're supposed to be in a bad place, and it is different, and that also is a relatable feeling when you know you're sad for like classic sad reasons, you know, as opposed to like, oh, I'm fucked up.
Right. Yes, for once I'm doing this exactly right. This is precisely what I should be doing. And I thought Gina, who like didn't have a lot of lines there, did a great job of
totally
clearly being concerned and then being, still concerned for him, but clearly relieved that he's like, I know exactly what you're thinking. I have a handle on this specific thing, so we're okay.
Right.
Like, all right. Good.
I guess just maybe I'll go into a couple Gina points, I guess.
Yeah.
So basically she gets the deal where she has to tell Delilah the news about John being the dad. I love that that's what sends Dave over the edge there as a Ron Livingston supporter. But yeah, so that's a tough break. Meanwhile, Rome's like, all right, I guess I'll tell the teen I hang out with, the news. Where it's like, that's the easier gig, to be honest. Gina's taking the tough one here.
Yeah, he also wanted that to happen. PJ's desperate for John to be his dad. Delilah, I'm guessing, will be less enthused.
It seems that she will be going into the fall half-season finale next time, but Gina goes to tell her, and she had a very good thesis point that I think is good, where she was talking to Mad Delilah, who's shown up in the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Mad Selfish Delilah. Yeah.
Self-righteous Delilah.
Where she said, being a best friend doesn't always, when Delilah's saying she feels ganged up on, and, you're supposed to be my best friend, and I did write down, I was like, Gina's your best friend? I guess. Like, you guys I guess you work together. But being a best friend doesn't always mean telling you what you want to hear, sometimes telling you what you have to hear. I think that's very true.
I wrote that down as well. Yes, she's being a good friend
Yep.
there.
That is good. That is giving you the truth. That is the thing where I think I've talked about in the context of us, you and me, and also like me and my mom. And not that this kind of stuff comes up a lot, but like I would not get in a fight with you or my mom. I would not like tell you off in front of someone else if you were being fucked up. But when we go home, I would be like, that was bad. Like, don't do that. Not like bad girl in either sense, but you know what I mean? Like the thing where it's like,
You rub my nose in it and you know it.
yeah, but like, hey,
Yes.
like I'll have your back out there.
Right,
but
we're not going to
here-
make a scene.
Right. Even if you have a shitty perspective, or like my mom does or a best friend does, I'll be like, since we're like this, I'll have your back in public, but when we get private, I'll let you know that was fucked up. You know what I mean? And I think that's basically Gina here,
Yes, and she gets, poor Gina's got nothing but bad news to deliver this episode, because she gets interrupted from telling Delilah because she finds out that Rum's mom is dead and then has to tell him that.
Yeah, that's not great.
She's got a lot of work to do. And for the whole episode, she doesn't let Delilah off the hook.
Yeah.
She talks to her again at the wake, and she's Delilah's always like, can you believe Eddie thinks that I am taking the children to France to get away from him?
Yeah.
And Gina's like, are you though?
Yeah.
He's like, zut alors. They have figured it out.
Zootalore indeed. Good job knowing Zootalore. As someone who took German.
It's from The Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay. There you go.
The chef says it
Yeah.
in the fish song.
Zootalore, do you know what it directly translates to in French?
Whoa.
Basically, it translates to rats. So, allure means like S-O.
Oh, okay.
And then zoot is like rats. So it just means rats. So, which I always found weird. I took French for 7 years.
Yeah, this guy knows what's up.
Yeah. I can't do the accent, though. Can't do the accent that all the million little potties. It's such a terrible. We need
What
to
a
come up with a new one. But people
thingies?
love your French accent. Million little thingies. Yeah, the thingies. That's pretty good. What up, thingies? So, all right.
Yes. So
that's Gina.
she continues to be like that, and then that's about it.
Want to swing around to Delilah stuff? Does that lead us into that, or do you want to go somewhere else?
The main thing is, yes, she Eddie asks her about it at the funeral, and she says, yeah, she wants to take the kids to France to see where she grew up. Finally admitting it.
She grew up
freely out in the open.
Do you know where she grew up?
France.
Yeah, but specifically inside of a camembert. Cheese.
I was born in a cheese.
I was born in a cheese.
Under the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. You can spread me on a baguette.
My father is a Merlot.
Yeah. That's Delilah if she's a hack stand-up comic, where she's like, my dad was a Merlot, my mom was a camembert, so that makes me a blank.
Probably
something
kills
that's like,
in France.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's like brushing it off. She's like, oh, yeah, sure, of course. And Eddie, of course, is like, Katherine gave him the heads up on this, asked if he is the dad on the birth certificate. Delilah says, of course not. It's John's baby. We decided that. He's like, well, I friggin' changed my mind. It turns out that was a really dumb decision that we made, and maybe we should fix it now.
Which I get. I should say I get the dumb decision in the moment, and reasonable to change.
Oh, yeah. I get both. I get it. So Delilah's sticking with her stuff and doesn't want to admit anything. And at the beginning of the episode, this all ties together. It's Eddie and Katherine talking together, and Katherine basically says that Delilah can just leave the country with the kid, with Charlie if she wants, and not consult Eddie, because if he's not on the birth certificate, he's not the dad. And
Yes.
that's it. So he knows this now. He finds out he's not on the birth certificate, and now he's like wondering what to do. And Katherine does let him know, like, well, there's stuff you can do. Like, you guys can sign papers to make it so you're on the birth certificate.
Right. Katherine, I think, has a really great run throughout this.
It's so good.
I think it's basically what I would assume if your husband cheated on you with someone, and you just this is a lot of specific points. If your husband cheated on you, you decided to stay with him, but still, and you were being the bigger person, but still kind of had beef with the person who fathered or who mothered the baby of your husband that you're still with. This is what Katherine gets to do is stuff you would fantasize about.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I bet she had such a hard time, like, not just smiling real wide when she did this. Like, oh my God,
She's roasting her ass.
just vibrating. Oh my God, yeah. Katherine's wearing her wedding ring again.
Oh, okay. That I noticed they showed it. They made a point of showing it. I didn't realize she hadn't been wearing it. And now she is.
Yeah, I think because Eddie.
She's
noticed.
really like into Eddie now.
Oh man, she's all in right now.
Yeah. But she says, yeah, when Delilah, Delilah is obviously Katherine is a particularly smart person, but in a mental fight. Katherine is dunking Delilah herself through the hoop. Like, it is just like, you can't hang with Katherine, Delilah.
No.
Don't fuck with her.
And at the end, Delilah thinks that she won the argument, but she so didn't. And Katherine knows that, which is why I'm happy about it. Because first Delilah comes out with, like, so you've probably been talking to Eddie. And Katherine's like, my husband? Yeah, I've been talking to him.
Yes.
And it's like, oh shit. Katherine is not having any of this today.
No, and just the best kind of burn is something that it's not trying too hard to be a burn.
No,
it's just laying out truth.
When just the truth makes you look like an idiot, that's the absolute best.
Right. And the demeaning one where it's like, the reason why you're in your house is because I'm good, is really alphaing up on her ass.
Yes, because Delilah tries to be like, this is my baby and whatever, and like, I don't want to tell the truth, and then Katherine comes up with, the reason you're in your house is because I'm a really good lawyer, and so trust me when I say you don't want to go up against me. It's like, oh man, yeah, in her mind she's just like high-fiving herself and dunking all over the place. It's so good. And then Delilah comes back with, I know you're a good lawyer, I want you to be a good person. And it's like, to that, Delilah, I say, oh, boo, you whore.
oh, boo, you whore. That sounds like a good T-shirt idea. Just, oh,
it
boo,
probably
you whore.
is from Mean Girls. They say that when, like, they don't want to, like, go to the mall or something. It's like, oh, boo, you whore. Because it's like, I don't even mean it in a super mean way. It's just like, oh, shut up.
Yes.
What are you doing? And Delilah is very self-satisfied with that burn, and Katherine just, like, sort of kind of smiles. It's just like, what?
Right.
What?
Well, at that point, Katherine could have been like, she could have had another one very easily there, where it's like, you want me to be a good person? Yeah. Like, well, I'll tell you what,
someone
Delilah.
who doesn't sleep with other people's husbands? What do you want? What?
I'll tell you what, Delilah. I won't father. I won't father anything because I'm a woman. I won't mother your husband's baby. How about that?
About that?
I'll be that good of a person.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was just a lot of good, clean fun.
Good,
with
clean
Katherine.
fun. And she also said another thing where that I missed. That was a good burn. Where Delilah said something like, "Do you really think I would do that?" And she's like, "Well, Delilah, you've done a lot of things that have surprised me," or something like that.
Yeah, she only talked in burns this episode.
Yeah, it was great.
That's like all she had, which was lovely. I fucking loved it.
Oh, and then I just wrote, the only other thing I had under Katherine was about the weirdness of Theo not being there, but everyone continually talking to him. Kind of like, it's like if someone shady comes to your door and you're a kid and you are like, "What's that, Dad?" Trying to pretend that someone's there. Yeah, very Kevin McAllister in Home Alone.
Dad?
That's what they were like with Theo this whole episode.
Yeah, they were. It's like they were trying to trick us. We're the robbers in this case. We're at their door. They're like, "Oh yeah, Theo's here for sure. Don't worry about it."
Yeah. All right.
And other than that, Eddie is giving Sophie a lesson, and she doesn't know who Bonnie Raitt is, and he's trying to teach her stuff. And that's how he finds out about France. And then at the funeral party, also called awake, Sophie is upset with PJ because he doesn't want to kiss her because she doesn't know that they're maybe brother and
Right.
sister. Jury's still out about whether that's John's DNA that we've tested, but
Right.
and then she tells her mom about it. So now Delilah's like, basically Delilah knows that Sophie tried to kiss PJ.
Yes.
So when she finds out that PJ is John's son, she ought to have a nice, fun reaction.
Coming up
about
next
that.
week. Yeah, an extra layer to the fact that John was cheating on her. But it's got to be a complicated feeling if you cheated on your husband and then you find out he was cheating on you. Because I assume you'd still be mad because human brains are imperfect and complicated and all that stuff. Like, you'd
sure.
still be mad. But then you'd probably be like, well, I can't be that mad. I'm still pissed, but
I think first reaction, just like lizard brain, would be like, "How dare you?" And then when your human brain kicks in, you'd have to be like, "Oh, well,
I get it."
I get it."
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you'd almost feel like a little bit relieved, like, "Oh,
I think so.
shit.
I think so.
I wasn't the only shithead. We were both shitheads."
I agree.
Yay!
So, all right.
A roller coaster.
Let's do anything else with that before we move on. We're coming to the closing kick. All right, so let's, knock out PJ. Anything else with PJ?
PJ's he got accepted to the art school he wanted and finds out it's like $14,000 a semester with his scholarship money.
Yeah.
Or financial aid, so... And his mom's like, we can't afford it, so obviously there's going to be the thing where John left them like $1 million. He's going to want them to take that money.
Right.
And that's it. He finds the DNA test at the end. It says it's 98.9 repeating forever % sure that the DNA, that it is the father, but of course could be anybody's hair on that sweater. We learned that from Harry Potter when Hermione accidentally turns herself into a cat.
Woo, dang, good ref.
Spoiler.
Yeah, Hermione's a cat.
Yep. She thinks it's a student's hair on a robe, but it's a cat's hair, so it could be a cat dad. We don't know yet.
Cat Daddy. Check out the Kate Upton video doing the Cat Daddy. That was that's my reference. Jamie's got the Hermione one. I'll tell you about Kate Upton videos. I just wrote "Go to art school, dummy" for PJ. Get out of here.
Get out of here. Why don't you steal $14,000 like you steal everything else?
Yep.
Steals the DNA test.
Yes, from a guy whose mom just died. And I know it's about you, but it's still weird. And he's still rummaging. He's just a raccoon. He's just rummaging through everyone's shit.
I know, because all he sees is like the edge of like a delivery
FedEx
box,
or
and he
something,
grabs it, and it's like, I know it ended up being the thing you thought it was, but come on, man.
This is one of the reasons why my best friend isn't a 17-year-old boy. So the last thing I said about, I wrote down about Delilah, about her taking the kid to France. Here's my hot take. She should talk about it to Eddie before she does it, but she's still the primary parent. She can do it if she wants. I think she has to give him a warning, but she can still do it.
Right. I would say he can't really veto this.
Yes.
But she should give him a heads up. She shouldn't she shouldn't text him from the plane and be like, P.S. you won't see your half baby for like the summer.
Yeah. And basically that leads me at least into Maggie and Gary a little bit, where we get the basically Maggie's like, oh, I might have this Oxford fellowship that I applied to weeks ago. Again, yes, do what you need to do for your career, but it annoys me how much she doesn't act like it's fucked up at all to never have brought it up and to be doing shit in secret. Again, not a problem if you just brought it up. It's weird. Because it's not, she's like, well, I didn't think they'd do it, but that's bullshit, because you're still pursuing it.
It is bullshit. Like, it would be one thing if they contacted you out of nowhere to a thing that you applied for before you got sick. That obviously would be like, oh, shoot, like, I truly didn't think this would happen. But saying that you contacted them a few weeks ago, it's like, nah, dude, that's, you did that in secret, and that's not okay.
Yep.
And I did think, just random thing from the episode, I thought Maggie did a very good job of talking to Rome's dumb brother. She was doing the very, like, sort of smiling along and just like, yes, exactly. What you're saying is totally normal, and I love it. And I'm going to have this conversation while I have to at this party.
Yeah.
Talking about property brothers with with Rome's brother. It was good. I thought it was a very realistic dealing with someone at a party and doing a good job of it.
Yeah, I thought so too. And she found something she could talk about with someone she has almost nothing in common with. So that's good.
And it caught me when Gary asks Maggie how long the fellowship is, and she says it's a year, and he says that's longer than we've known each other. And I was like, holy shit, is that true? I guess so, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a calendar year since the show debuted, but I guess in terms of storyline.
Yeah, I mean, I lose track of when it's supposed to be. I'm also like, this is Boston. We're having outdoor activities right now. No way, dude.
Boston, shot in Vancouver. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of crazy. And I mean, there wasn't a ton of stuff to talk about this one. It's, he's surprised that she might go to Oxford for a year, and then he's upset about it, and then he comes around and decides like he wants them to not grow apart. So if she wants to go to Oxford, then he wants her to go to Oxford, and he's going to support her, and he buys her a bob wig. Mm-hmm. To take to London, and that's pretty much it. And it looks like from the preview, Gary's going to get some more stuff. He seems to be addressing the group about how he has been, I assume, talking about why he got fired, saying he was spending all his time helping people get through divorces and cancer, and he would do it again if he had to, etc.
Yes.
And I was like, good for him.
Yeah, he honestly, being a good person gets in the way of your life a lot, especially if you have a friend group like this. If you got a drama friend group and you're trying to, scramble around and honestly, bitches. Gary should be a therapist. But,
That's true. Yeah. Can you have couples therapy, meaning that the therapists are a couple?
You can. I know you can. It's legal.
Should you?
Yes. So I think that's basically it. And then Sophie was also in this episode, and I wrote that I thought Sophie did a good job acting. I don't have a lot more to say about that, but she seemed kind of natural to me, I thought. So that's good.
Yeah, she did a good awkward teen job.
Lizzie Green, one of the biggest fan bases on this show as an actor. Because I think she did... God, I think Disney Channel stuff could be something else, but she has a good old fan base. And the only other note I had, Eddie is a Ross from Friends style dad, where you see him with Theo sometimes, but also he's just like, he's a guy who like talks a lot about how important being in this child's life is, and I don't really see it a lot. Where Ross is like, I'm a father. It's like, are you though?
Yeah, like every 10 episodes, he'd be like, it's important for me to spend time with my son. It's like, who?
Yeah, who?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You have a kid.
Right. Your monkey? And when the constantly talking about his ex, who he cheated on his wife with, in a logistical sense, I get it that it's sort of a necessity, but he does it really casually. And I wrote, stop calling her D in front of your wife. I think for whatever reason that struck me as weird. He's like,
house,
D's kind of ghosting on me right now. It's like, the woman you were fucking for a long time.
Yeah, that is. And Katherine, I think, is enjoying being the person who's like, no, it's fine. Talk about it. And I'll tell you a way to mess with her legally. She's like, no, give it to me.
Yeah,
but in the house, you should refer to her as like that bitch or something.
Yeah, but it's weird because it would also be inauthentic for him to do that, because it's like he really likes Delilah. He's into her, always has been. He's probably always going to be. And so it's weird. It's just another example of guys getting away with it a little bit, where it's like Delilah's the problem. It's like Eddie's really the bigger problem. Anywho, all right, that's that. That does it for this episode, I think, unless you have anything else to throw in at the buzzer, Jamie.
No, that's
cool.
it. We did it.
Thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week for the fall season finale, which we will have Dave Miller live on. It's tough to have three people, especially with our schedules. Jamie working insane early mornings on a big old radio show. That's her job. And then me traveling a lot for stand-up, and Dave working at nights and, a time zone away. It's hard to get us all together, but next week we will be. So for the fall season finale, and that'll be the last one of these for a while. So please tune in then. Thank you for tuning in so far. Give us a rating and review if you haven't yet. Would be lovely. And follow us at A Million Little Things on Instagram, at A Million Little Podcast on Twitter. And that's all we got for you till next week.
Million Little bye.